My name is Juliet Mule. I work with the GIZ Global Program on combating illicit financial flows as the team leader in charge of Eastern and Southern Africa Hub, based in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm a lawyer by profession and very passionate about access to justice, especially for the vulnerable in the society and also rule of law. Hence, how I got into the governance sector. I started my work at the civil society in the anti-corruption sector before I eventually found myself in the governance cluster, good governance cluster, where I started as an advisor in charge of civil society engagement on anti-corruption work, and then crossed over to the current program where I am leading as the technical team leader for Kenya. We are currently looking at how we can ensure that women get to be more involved in governance issues, in combating corruption, combating illicit financial flows more. And even within the GIZ team, we are already supporting female colleagues who are part of the work that we are doing. Currently, we have about 4 ladies in our cluster that are advisors involved in anti-corruption work, in anti-IFF work, and we are already mentoring them to be able to take up the responsibility that is required. We also encourage them to be well versed in the topic, to sell themselves out there, to communicate, to talk to partners, to just basically being out there and being able to showcase their understanding of the topic, their understanding of the issues, and what is required of them within the sector. Of course, we also try to inspire them where possible, and GIZ also started a mentorship program for women, and we have encouraged our colleagues to be part of that program so that they can be mentored on how to be future leaders within GIZ and also out there in the sector and in the community. The sector I'm currently working in is highly technical and male-dominated. Therefore, it takes a bit of time to be accepted, especially by fellow colleagues, fellow men who are already there. And as a woman, you really have to work harder to be able to prove yourself and demonstrate that you're actually up to the task and understand what is required in the sector. The other challenge as a woman-led leader is also that there is a balance, work-life balance. As a mother, as a wife, and also a leader who leads a team, you need to be able to have a balance where you're able to allocate sort of equal responsibility to work and also to your home area. And sometimes that can be challenging because you may be required to either travel every once in a while, and that takes time away from family, and of course that would mean trying to give more to be able to support your family on that other end. The other challenge is that our sector is very keen on compliance to the international standards for combating illicit financial flows, and very little focus on the impact of that compliance to women. And therefore, we have made a deliberate attempt as a program to be able to assess what we call the unintended consequences to our work on women, to ensure that we are not locking them out from initiatives or interventions that may enhance their development because of pursuit of compliance. From the family point of view, I tried as much as possible to be 100% there when I'm available, to ensure that the family gets to benefit from my presence. And when it comes to the sector, I always ensure that I try to read as much as possible, to be more knowledgeable about our work, our sector, get to understand any emerging trends globally that may affect our work. because once you're knowledgeable, then it becomes easy to be accepted by other peers within the sector, especially respect from the male colleagues who are working in that sector. Now, when it comes to our work, we have made a deliberate decision to actually assess the impact of our work on gender and how to ensure that we are not looking out women or having unintended consequences that could be negative to women, and support their initiatives, their development initiatives, and ensure that they also have an equal space to do either business or any other initiative that may be required of them. One thing I would tell the young women is that there are many opportunities out there. Even GIZ already offers internship opportunities. We take, even within the cluster, we take young people whom we are willing to mentor, so they can apply, they can come, join us, and we are willing to support and work with them in this journey. Of course, it's highly technical, so it requires a bit of hard work, a lot of reading, a lot of focus to be able to achieve what they want. And then I would also say that be passionate. It is good to do something that you're passionate about. Therefore, let them work hard and also be happy about what they are doing.